lots of shorts, unboxings, and lots of toy hunts as far as like retro madness and comic book stores, just like fun stuff
Nice.
like that. But you guys can find me at Her Galactic Empire or Her Galactic Empire with the number three in Empire instead of an E.
Oh, okay. All right then. I she can probably let us or teach us about TikTok because yeah, it's hard to kind of find the right TikToks to do. I don't know, man. It's one of those social medias that is it's kind of I don't know. I still can't get it. I guess I'm too old. I'm Facebook guy. you know. I'm,
Dude, it happens to me where I try to edit a short and it takes me like an hour to get it to where I like it, right? And I post it and I get, let's say, 500 views, and I'm like, not so great. But now, since TikTok added the function that you can just post a picture, it's not even a video, right? Like it's just a picture, and somehow my pictures get like 7,000, 10,000 views. I'm like, why do I even try? Like it's just like let
yeah,
me just post a picture and be done. Like I don't even need to edit. Like it's yeah, I don't know. I just I can't figure it out.
yeah. It's hard.
The
The
algorithm is
algorithm.
strange.
Yeah, yeah, very
For
much so.
sure, I don't know what people it's watching out there, but it's crazy how exactly, and I think it's the same issue with a lot of people that I guess that I talk to about how Instagram or other socials are different than you go to TikTok, like you said, like you edit something, you take your time to try to make it like look good, and boom, it's like let's say 1,000 views, and if it's good. And then you post a picture and goddamn, you get like 10,000, 15,000. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what the fuck? So, anyways, correct. So, hopefully we can find the way to make it work. But it's fun though. I mean, sometimes you're there, and next thing you know, there's like 30 minutes past. You just
Yeah,
like scrolling,
very
Yeah.
easily. Yeah, dude. That's the danger part.
you scrolling stuff. Yeah, yeah, anyways, it can be fun at times, but also frustrating. Hey, so do you see the trailer? Mole Shadow Lord, is that the name of the series, right?
Yep.
Correct. What do you think about it? Kenobi?
I okay.
Yeah. um yeah, so very excited ever since we heard about it, right? Last year. Maul is just one of those characters we didn't get enough of, nearly enough of in the movies. Um, Slowly but surely, we've been getting more stories, right? Through Rebels, through Clone Wars. But there was still a big gap. There was still basically everything between the end of episode 3, right? And the last time we see him in Rebels, which, spoilers to anybody that hasn't seen Rebels,
Oh,
that
come
kind of
on.
marks the end of his journey, right? So, but still, you still have what? It's like 14, 15 years gap, somewhere around there. So it's a lot of time. And we don't really know what happened, right? I mean, we know bits and pieces. We saw a little bit in Solo, right? When he made that cameo, he showed up. So we know he is dedicated to his crime syndicate, right? But that's about it. We don't really know much more. So very excited to see that they're expanding on the character. I think a character that is wildly popular and has been very popular for the past 30 years. Um, and I'm excited. Obviously, anything animation I tend to like. Um, I feel that it's been a little while since we've had so much excitement for a project, at least an animated project. And obviously, it brings all kinds of possibilities, new characters, old characters that we know are active in that period of time. And yeah, man, it looks great. I mean, Sam Witwer, you know him. He's gonna kill it. He's gonna do amazing. I mean, the man is a lore master. Um, Second only maybe to Filoni. I feel like him and
Crazy.
Filoni are like very
Damn.
uh neck and neck. So I think it's in good hands. I think it's going to be a fun project. I'm excited to see a little bit more of the underworld. Like all of those criminal syndicates. We don't really get to see much of those. We've gotten glimpses here and there, but not a full on like dedicated show. So, and let's be honest, the animation looks gorgeous. Like it just looks very fun.
Yeah, for sure. Before you let me know what were your thoughts about the trailer. Let me just say hi to the people that are in the chat. So he comes Víctor Matthew says Noches Mágicas de Mandador Express, una forma diferente de ver Star Wars, y saluda a todo mundo. There you go. He says hi to everybody. There you go. And we got like here Caribdis also saying hi to everybody. Juan Robles, same here, saying hi to everybody right here. Let me see who's right here. There you go. Misara Kenobi, say hello there. Saying hi to everybody. Eric, also, greeting everybody right here. We got Cuadratura Sensual, which is, he says the prequels are already bigger than the original trilogy, bigger than the Beatles now, and more relevant than the United States Congress. Yes, sir. You say English. Yes, sir. Their voice, okay. Girl, he said, okay. The cannibal, he said, how are you, my friends? What is it? Are fans today more interested in political complexity than simple heroes' journeys?
That's actually a good question. That's a good point.
It is a good question. And he goes right here. Hello there.
Hey, Jeff. What's going on, brother? Good to see you.
Star Wars addict. There you go. Mr. Kenobi saying hi also to the peeps. We got here.
Hey, Martha. How you doing?
Martha saying hi. Hello, Martha. I don't know why YouTube did this thing where now you can see the whole name instead of your nickname or whatever. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Juan Carlos Bernal Morales. Hello there. How you doing? We're doing fine, sir. And Secret Space Collectibles says hello.
So these are a few friends of ours from the community. They just launched their new channel, and that's the name of it, Secret Space Collectibles. So make sure you guys check them out over here on YouTube.
Sure. Yeah, yes. And remind me before after we finish the live stream, so I can go and check them out because I will forget through the live. But yeah, it's always we always welcome the new channels, new people to the community. So that's pretty amazing. Mr. Ferrat, he said good evening to everybody. Hello, Mr. Ferrat. Luis Sanchez, hello. General Kenobi.
Hello there.
All your peeps. All your peeps from your community are supporting today this live stream. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, guys, still on the road. I will join as soon as I get home. All right.
Drive safe.
For those who don't know, the freaking roads here in North Texas are completely frozen. So it's really difficult to navigate. And although Alex will tell you that he's the king of the road, but still, it's dangerous. So y'all guys be careful out there. Richard dice buenas noches. Good evening, Richard. Mr. Alfredo Ferrari said back in the day, I remember how sad I was thinking about Maul, and what a waste of this awesome character. Well, hopefully with this live series, that they're well, I don't know, because he got a lot of screenplay on Clone Wars, and also in Rebels. Well, not a lot in Rebels, but it was very important part of Rebels, I will say. Misael, what do you think about the Maul series trailer?
I'm excited, especially because we got a sneak peek of possibly Darth Talon.
Oh yeah,
very exciting.
Oh, I don't know what to think about that. I will think
see.
about it.
We shall see.
But I mean, like General said, I think the animation was great. I think
Mm-hmm.
they're being,
Yep.
going a step up every time they come with the new animation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember the last episodes of Bad Batch, although a lot of people didn't like, the series, etc., the story. I The animation was great. There was some episodes where the animation was, real good, and I think they're being like, getting better at it. And I see, or when I saw the trailer, and it blew my mind. I think it was pretty cool, man. When
Mm-hmm.
he like throws the saber and just get all those TKs, cuts them and stuff or whatever, that was pretty badass, I will say. So I'm excited too. I'm excited about Maul, and see what they can show us. Like you said, there is a gap where they can do a lot of things, and it will be very interesting to see what they can do with the character. Although a lot of people said, that he's already dead, and they already brought him from the uh, from the uh, from the death and all this. I think he's great. It's a fan favorite, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
give me more. I've been asking for freaking the series Darth Vader series for the last years, and hopefully they can give it to us with with Hayden being out there. Hopefully they can do something with them.
He
I
wants to
think
come
they
back, so
Yeah.
I think they should. I think they should. Anyways, okay, one more question before we go. I guess in full into the subject of tonight. What's your thoughts about Kathleen Kennedy leaving Star Wars or Lucasfilm, Mr. Kenobi?
well, if I understood the articles correctly, she's stepping down from president, but she's still gonna be around. So she's still gonna be working on projects, just not as like the head, I guess approver, right? Um, it had to happen, at some point. Um, Technically, she's been running, the company for what, 14 years, something like that. So it's a tough job, not one that I would want to have for sure. But I think she did a lot of good. She did, I wouldn't say a lot of bad, but stuff that wasn't as great. Let's just say. But if you remember last year, we found out that Bob Iger was actually the one pulling a lot of the strings that a lot of the fans were blaming her for, right? So it's gonna be an interesting combination because apparently Bob is also stepping down, right? So new blood, new direction. Dave Filoni is absolutely the right person to be on the creative side, right? And it makes sense that they're they are giving somebody that's really good on the creative to the creative, leadership, but they're splitting off the, let's say, the administrative stuff to somebody that's really good, with the administrative stuff. To me, that makes sense. If you remember, they kind of did that with DC Studios, Detective Comics, right? So James Gunn has been on the creative side, but there's this other person who I can't remember his name right now, who's kind of the, the behind the scenes guy, right? Like he's the administrator, and so far it's worked pretty good. So I'm kind of hoping that with this new change, we can start seeing some exciting new projects. Um, Even then, I don't know that they're gonna be able to make everything that we want, like us, the fans, um, because not everything works as much as we would like it to. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. Hopefully, all the projects are good, but if they're not, it's gonna be interesting to see if now we start, blaming Filoni, right? That Star Wars isn't good. So I'm gonna wait and see. I am excited. I think it's a positive step for the franchise. Again, Dave Filoni is the closest thing we got to George Lucas, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the knowledge and in terms of the love that he has for Star Wars. Um, but it's a big responsibility, right? Like he's pretty much now at the top, so uh, he can't he can't see or do every single thing, right? So I think he's gonna start to delegate, right? Like he's gonna start to have to let go a little bit of a lot of projects that he was doing personally, right? So we'll see how good or how bad that dynamic, plays out.
That will be I think the hard part, to let go some of the stuff that
Yeah,
he definitely holds, to tied to
exactly.
himself. Some of the characters that he loves.
Yeah,
Like he may have to stop put Ahsoka everywhere.
right. Yeah, I mean, all of Ahsoka season one, he wrote every
Yeah,
single episode, right? Um, I don't know if he's gonna be able to do that anymore. Like, I'm sure he can still write. I'm not saying he won't do anything. I'm just saying I don't know that he can take on, right, writing an entire season for a show anymore when he has a lot more responsibilities now, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see this new face. But again, I am hopeful that it's gonna be for the good.
yes, sir. Anyone, what do you think about the departing of Kathleen Kennedy from the franchise?
I agree with General Kenobi. I think Dave Filoni is probably the best as far as creativity, and we can only hope that we get some interesting and fun Star Wars projects in the next years or so. So I guess we will see.
I mean, I think he's the right person. Definitely. He was, Lucas, I guess, Padawan. Now he has become a master Jedi, I guess. And yeah, I heard that those rumors where Iger was the one basically uh, saying no to the projects, etc. I don't know if that's completely true. We probably will never know. I know that Miss Kathleen has been blamed for a lot of the I will say negativity of Star Wars.
Yeah.
To me, it was time. I think it's a cycle. You have to go at some point. And I think, to me, I guess she was holding to try to leave with in good spirits. I guess with the fans, also with something good. I think Andor what's good, very good in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think it was, thinks it's slow, etc. A lot of people don't like it. I do think it's one of the best, if not the best series that right now Star Wars has as live action series. Um, but anyways, I think it was time, and hopefully Filoni will do what needs to be done. I'm sure that he's gonna make mistakes. I'm sure that we're gonna blame him for some stuff, because that's how we are. That's how our fandom is, and
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. I've been blaming people for shows that I don't like, but that's who we are, and exactly I wouldn't change it for nothing. So that's the way we are. Sometimes, yeah, we can be toxic. Yes, I mean, definitely, but it is what it is. So yeah, hopefully he does good. So that's all I'll ask for, and we'll see with the Mando and Grogu do, in a couple of
Mhm.
months, and we'll see also with Ahsoka that now they're pushing it all the way to the end of the year or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're trying to spread it out because right now in April we're gonna have Maul, right? Leading us into May. It finishes or it ends on May the 4th. And then we're gonna have the Grogu and Mando movie, towards the end of May. So I think the first half of the year is like covered, right? Like we got stuff going on.
yeah,
So I'm sure they're gonna want to push Ahsoka as far out as they can, um, in this year to sort of give good coverage, right? Like be like, okay, because technically that's the only live action show they got right now, right? That's done.
yes,
I mean, that's like ready and stuff. So I kind of feel they're gonna start, pumping the brakes a little bit on the shows. Like we're probably gonna take a little bit longer, and we're not gonna have 2 shows per year like we did before. Um, I think they're gonna take a couple of years to focus on the movies, which I'm down for because I want to see Star Wars back in theaters. Like that's like what I miss the most, like that magic of going to see a new Star Wars movie, right? On the big screen. So I'm really hoping Mando and Grogu does like really, really good, like like insanely good, like a lot of money is what I'm trying to say because I want to see them, get more movies made.
We I used I mean also I don't think you saw the whole thing, but we were watching, or I was watching the Rebels Comic Con live they had
Yeah,
tonight, and they announced a couple of the people, few of the guests, and one of them was is that Brandon Wayne,
yeah,
Brandon Wayne, yeah, I think it's, yeah. So for those who don't know, he's actually the one of the Mandalorians, or Pedro Pascal. He's on few scenes, and that's his voice. But actually, the people that acts is Latif Crowder and Brandon Wayne.
yeah.
Those
It's
two are the
understood.
Mandalorians. And what he was saying, or what I heard he said, is that these, well, they can't talk about the movie, of course.
Sure.
They cannot say anything. But the only thing that he said is that he's going to be very compared to the first season with action and adventure. So
Nice.
that's all. Also, that's all I'm asking. I know it's Mando and Grogu. I know it's not gonna like. Well, hopefully blows our mind, but I know it's not gonna be like, oh, it's something new or not. It's something that we already watch. I love the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Our channel is called Mandalorian Express because of the Mandalorian. So I think, like you said, I just hope that it's just like solid, good movie that was good on and make some good money. So they can start making more movies, and it's true. I think kind of they left the after COVID. I think a lot of things changed,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
a lot of it was more in a lot of these channels, not channels, but apps or whatever start popping, and all these production companies start making series instead of movies. And for a while it was good, but I think now people are back into like, let's, I don't know, watch one more movies than series. I don't know. It's weird. After COVID, a lot of things change, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I guess because we were at home a lot, it was fun to watch series all the time.
Mhm.
But I think it's time to put Star Wars back in the theaters. I
Yeah.
know Starfighter is coming. I know Mando and Grogu is coming in a few months. So hopefully they make it. I don't know about Starfighter still. I don't know. I'm not a big Ryan Gosling fan, but you know that just me. I see Ken when I see him, but we'll
There you
see
go.
what happens. Hopefully he does good. But look, so, we're Mandalorian fans here. So.
There you go. Nice.
Anyways, yeah. Now let's talk. Let's talk about the main subject, and uh, like I was saying before we started the live, one of the reasons I wanna brought her Galactic Empire here, Miss Eowyn, is because she's from that younger generation that I think right now are starting to carrying the Star Wars franchise more than the older people. Old people like me are getting grumpy, and we don't like a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
That just me. We're complaining about everything, and we don't like a lot of the stuff. We want everything to be like old school, etc. Which it's fine. That's our thing. But one of the things that surprised me, and she can talk about it a little bit. We went to the Houston comic. What was it?
Comic Palooza.
The Comic Palooza,
Palooza.
which where Hayden Christensen was there.
Yeah.
And so we went there. It was fun. It was in a huge place in Houston. I can't remember what's the name of the venue, but it's huge. So at the convention center, I can't remember the name or whatever. So it was huge. And what it surprised me, it was that to me, there was it wasn't a lot of big names, per se on in as guests, as guest stars or whatever. And he was, to me, he was like one of the biggest ones, or if not, he was the biggest one. But he's the one that made the con, like
Hmm.
just like that. He's the one that
Yep.
made it. We left around 7 o'clock. They closed the thing at 5, or I can remember 6. And people, I mean, I don't know how many, like a couple of hundred people was still on his line, and he was
Hmm.
like signing autographs and taking pictures, and we left, and there was still a lot of people in there. Like, it was crazy. So we also saw him at they have a theater where they do the questions and all, the panel or whatever, with
Panel.
etc. And the panel was, I mean, the theater was full. It was crazy. So that I was thinking, I was like, this is just, I don't know, it's crazy. And everybody, again, I guess the gap of the ages, it was between, I'll say the same thing, between 18 and 30, 35. And I didn't see a lot of old people. I mean, it was me and probably other parents taking their kids to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just crazy. So I'm thinking, what's going on. And then we went to see the movie, the re-release of Revenge of the Sith.
Nice.
The theater was packed and nothing but younger people in there. So that's my question. My question is, and I go with Awen first. Do you think that your generation is carrying, the franchise now? Is your generation, and also not just carrying the franchise, but why do you like the prequel so much? That's my question. Why do you like the prequel so much?
I feel like definitely we're carrying the love and, like, I guess passing on the love for the prequels for sure, and Star Wars in general. And I feel like the prequels are just like, they can be nostalgic, especially for those who have the parents who grew up with Star Wars and they grew up with the prequels. But I also feel like you're watching, like, the fall and, like, the beginning of just Darth Vader himself, and just the emotional impact and the struggles and how flawed the Jedi are, and it just the romantic aspects as well with, Padme and Anakin. You're watching not only the love and the bond between Anakin and Padme, but you're also watching the bond and love of a brotherhood between Obi-Wan and Anakin, and just all the sad and the just the chaotic, like, Order 66. It's good. It's great. It's great.
All right. So, General, same question. What do you think these generation needs? These new generation are very, they like it. They like the prequels a lot.
We
Yeah.
love it.
What do
Yeah.
you think? That's what you think.
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
To be completely transparent, the prequels is my favorite trilogy, also, like, in general. But I think it's a combination of things. One, like you said, I think they're at the right age where they saw them as kids, right? Now they're adults. And to be honest with you, now they have money, right? Because they're
Yeah, no,
adults.
for
So
sure.
now they want to spend the money, meeting Hayden Christensen, right? Like, meeting their Anakin, their Darth Vader, right? And if you notice, like, Hayden Christensen is not rare on appearance, right? Like, he does several cons a year. Like,
Hmm.
he's definitely not somebody that you say, oh, he's very hard to find,
Like
right?
Mark
at a
Hamill.
convention. Yeah, exactly, right. He's not like
Hmm.
a unicorn, right? Like, he's very active in conventions. But every single convention that he's at, he sells out. You know,
For
Hmm.
he
sure.
he has lines, like you said, right? I met him 2 years ago, sorry, on 2024 in Chicago. Same thing. The convention actually closed, and they left, a special like place just for him and all the people he still had in line, because he said, I'm not leaving until I get everybody. We're not gonna shut down. I'm gonna keep going. And I think he left like at 9:30
Shit.
when the
Wow.
convention closed at, I think, 7, if I remember correctly. And he had been going all day, right? So he's like, I'm not getting
Wow.
up from here until I meet everybody that's here in the line, right? Like, if you pay for a ticket and it's for today, I'm staying. And he did, dude. And they had to shut down, like I said, pretty much the rest of the building. It was
Yeah.
just like an area, blocked off just for him. um and it was crazy, and again, he was very popular. He took the time, he spoke with everybody. I'm not gonna say he spent 30 minutes talking to everybody, but he exchanged a few words with everybody. Like, he was very like polite. So I think that's a big part of it, that we now, us older people, are starting to see the younger generations actually, participate a little more, right? Because again, they got a little bit more money now, so they can buy tickets, they can go to conventions, they can buy the collectibles, like they can buy the hot toys, they can buy the Black Series, like all that stuff, based on the characters that they know from their childhood. So I think that's one big part of it, why we see so much love for the prequels. The other thing, and again, I am a very big fan of the prequels. The prequels, I feel, out of the three trilogies, right? I feel that the prequels are the ones that had the most like complicated, you know, uh, uh, story and interactions, because what was gonna happen, right? You know how everything is gonna go bad, but you can't figure it out. Like, once you start episode 1, you're like, how did they mess up so bad? Like,
Yeah.
how did they drop the ball so spectacularly, right? But then you get to episode 2 and you're like, oh, I kind of see it. I kind of see it, with Count Dooku, saying, everything that's wrong with the Jedi. You start seeing Anakin, of course, lash out, and the man did sabered a few Tusken Raiders, right? So you're like, that's not nice. That's not what a Jedi is supposed to do. So you start seeing the descent, and then of course episode 3, everything just breaks, right? Um, so you start seeing that descent, right? It's going down. Whereas, for example, the original trilogy, it was the other way around. You start seeing it, going
Mhm.
going back to good, right? Everything starts really bad with the Empire being almost in full control. Then you find Luke, then you end up with them defeating the Empire. Well, defeating, right? But
Yeah,
still,
exactly. Quote.
um, exactly. Now we know better, but still, back then, right? You thought that was it. That was the happy ending, right? So you end up in a very high note, right? You end up feeling good. You're like, yay, the good guys won. But the prequels, again, it's kind of the reverse. And and like I said, us older people, we know the good guys are gonna lose, right? We know everything's gonna end up in a very bad spot. But to actually see it, and you're like, why couldn't they, do this right? Why couldn't they save themselves? And that's what I mean. Like, it's a little bit more complicated, right? Like, there's a little bit more meat on that bone. It gets you thinking. uh, there's a lot of characters, obviously, and a lot of intricate, I guess, interactions, right? People you think are very smart or very powerful, and they get fooled. Uh they miss things, and you're like, it's right there. Like, Palpatine is obviously the bad guy. How is he the like all of that stuff, right? Like,
Correct.
so I feel that that's where a lot of the love for the prequels, come from. And visually, to be honest, I think the grand majority of it visually still holds up today. I'm not gonna say everything. There are some spots there that you're like, oof, that looks very rough nowadays.
Yeah.
But overall, I think visually they're still very compelling.
Yeah, I think they have aged well,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But I felt a disturbance on the force, and it's because my good friend and co-host Alex is here. Hello.
I just want to
Hello
first
there.
apologize for being here late. I've been on the road all day, and I would never recommend to be on the road all day, but it's something that I actually enjoy. So, it's something that I've been doing for family and work. So finally made it home a little late, but I could not stop from joining this great live. But before anything, I like to say a few words in regards of what I like to dedicate this live to Nilda. She was supposed to be part of this panel. She is. We have a great relationship with her. We met her at conventions. She's a really good friend of Kenobi Bunker. She had a loss, and then I just like to simply dedicate this to her and hope that that she's fine and that she goes through this very difficult time in in a timely manner. So I just want to say that. Having said that, glad to be here. I've been listening to you in the car, and then I'm just
Do you understand my English?
no, no,
All right.
no, but you do what you can, so that's fine.
Hey, Mr. Ferrat right here says, "Good Lord, good Lord knows that time can go backwards, and damage miscarried. Do is already done. Filoni should do a hard healing process and pray that fandom allows it." All right. Yeah, 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 yeah. I agree completely. The Caribdis, is George Lucas being proven right just decades later? Oh, that's a good question. You think he's been proven right because of his 6 movies? Quadratura Sensual. The prequels gave me a brief cameo of Jabba the Hutt as a grumpy old man. I'm happy with that. Oh, okay, that's good. Mr. John Ryan, he says prequels are amazing. Very unfortunate we didn't get the panel in
Yeah,
Japan.
man.
Hey, these
There was
past
nothing in Japan.
No. There
these
was-
pa- I'm sorry, y'all guys. I know
There was
you probably had a
nothing.
blast because going to another country, especially Japan, I want to go. I know that you had fun, but let me tell you that it was disappointing. This past celebration, at least on TV. At least watching it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. There was a lot of good stuff, of course. It's celebration, but it was the 20th anniversary of episode 3, right? Like
Yeah.
how do you not even say it? Like I think they said it 2 times at some of the panels, maybe like not even anything dedicated to it. No screening, no special edition, no nothing. Like it's I don't know. I still do not understand what happened. Like
You know why did that didn't happen? Because they'd rather show a sushi chef
Oh,
making
bro.
little sushi pieces based on characters and stuff. That's where they put all their money. The one that they save on the same, what we saw there, is just that they use the from the Mandalorian from
There are more with
from
the
the
background
armor.
or
Yes.
whatever.
hmm They use
The
the
set,
same
the set,
thing,
the set was built on and it was the
the
same.
same set
mhm.
they used from a previous celebration to that one. So I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I mean, spend some money, but
They did it on the Acolyte.
Yeah, I was gonna say they, they maxed out the credit card on the acolytes.
And Johnny Ryan says during the prequels we had the best
Oh,
marketing hands
yeah.
down. Burger King, Oh yeah, yeah. That's true. I
Dude,
remember.
and that's because we didn't really have like social media, right? And the marketing machine was insane back then. Like,
Taco Bell.
dude, it's like everybody came together, like all the fast foods, they were like the UN, you know, they were like the United Nations. Like everybody was just on the same page, like working together. It was crazy back then.
It's true. So, anyways, so Alex, I don't know if you heard the question, but I mean, I was asking everybody, what do you think about how this new generation is carrying? In my opinion, you know, I don't know what you think, but I think is carrying the franchise now instead of the old grumpy dudes.
Well, that's exactly the point. You know, I mean, you're asking me that. I'm not the one to answer that. I am the one to actually ask questions to Her Galactic Empire or Kenobi, that you know is probably 30 years younger than you and I. So so
No, General Kenobi's out there, bro.
Oh no,
He out there. He out there. All right.
I was gonna say.
no te hagas el jovencito, compi, por favor.
He out there. No. I mean, you are the oldest dude right here.
No, but to answer your question, I'm stoked that actually is something that is actually happening, that a new generation is finally kind of clinging into Star Wars for X or Y reason. Mainly perhaps because of what we saw as an effect of the showing again episode 3 on theaters, and how many people we saw being so excited about it, and then after that, you know, starting to read the book, starting to read the novel about episode 3, and then from there to get into Star Wars, and then start to create content, and then all of a sudden start to talk about it. And I wanted to ask Eowyn, Her Galactic Empire. I have kids your age, Eowyn, and they are, as I'm sure as you are, you know, and many youngsters, in completely different spectrums, you know, with music, with
Yeah.
you know, movies, with anime, with everything that you guys have in front of you, and all of a sudden Star Wars gets right there in front of you, and then you fall in love with a certain character,
Yeah.
with something that perhaps you never thought that. I mean, I know that you have your dad, and he has loved Star Wars forever, right?
Yeah.
But what was it that with all of these influences that you do have around you, that kind of compelled you to actually get into Star Wars, and you simply say, you know what, this is the shit.
I feel like, you know, because if you guys didn't know, I recently, like in the last couple of years, got into Star Wars. However, I feel like because episode 2 is my favorite, but eh, I know that's a little, everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's my favorite one. I feel like that pieces together everything as far as like the OG trilogy and then the prequels. I feel like that sets everything out. However, I I feel like because I study psychology and we're watching this young boy, Anakin, we're watching him, you know, fall into a a mental health pit, just struggles and
Stop right there. So you're telling me that you like Anakin because he's a study case? Is that what you're telling
No.
me?
he's a good one.
Oh my God. He
But
said, I can fix him. I can fix him.
There you go.
Go ahead, continue, please. Continue.
but yeah, and then we're just watching this kid, leave his mom and at a very young age, get strung into the Jedi and learning the Jedi way and, you can't have attachments and, we watch him fall in love with Padme and, you know, he has fear, he has abandonment issues and a lot of emotional neglect. But I also feel like I can relate a lot to the teenage angst and Anakin as well. And you know, I personally feel like the love story between him and Padme is beautiful. I love it. And it's very, very sad, watching him become one of the Sith and, the Darth Vader, and
Hmm.
watching him like leave everything he loves behind because he is so like deep into his fear. And it's I I just love watching it, and I love watching Attack of the Clones and then watching Revenge of the Sith, and like holding on to my seat, and you're like, don't fall into it, don't do it. It's very sad. And it's very sad watching the brotherhood between Obi-Wan and Anakin. That alone is very sad as well. You see him as Anakin's mentor, and they grow like a brotherhood bond, and watching him train Anakin. Even in the Clone Wars, you see a lot more into the story that you didn't see in the three movies, and it's it's very sad. So,
Well, before I go with Kenobi, because I know that he has a lot of stuff to say about this, but what in this case study, what compelled you again? What gave you that fuel to, after watching Anakin going through all of this, to actually get into the entire saga and perhaps go back to the original trilogy, and perhaps into finishing the prequels and even the sequels, no? So what actually fueled you to go and get into all of this, and becoming a collector of perhaps the figure of Anakin and everything that
I you because at the end of the day, you want to watch a happy ending and see Luke and Leia and Han, you know, bring him back to the light side, and you
Luke and
it,
Leia, pero pues eran hermanos, they were brothers, they kiss each other.
That's okay. They still
That was a
help
happy
him.
ending.
Still, yeah. That doesn't mean that they can't help.
They had a happy, it was a happy ending at the end. But anyways, you were saying, I'm sorry.
Go on.
you I don't know, it's just you there it just sucks you right into the story, and just as the sequels aren't my favorite, so I don't know, it's kind of sad, like
You said what? She said
the
what?
the sequels aren't my favorite, but it's kind of sad watching, well, I don't want to make this a controversial topic
No,
because
no,
now
You did.
no. No, she meant prequels, not sequels.
No, she said the sequels, and she said it twice, Compy. She said it twice. She said the sequels are her favorite. She said it twice.
No, she meant prequels.
No, I just it you mm,
Which is okay. I mean,
No, it's because when you said that the sequels are your favorite.
oh, did I? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
No, that's not okay. That's not what I meant. But that's not what I meant at all. Oh no. However, recently, I guess in the last couple weeks or so, I have been having I guess appreciation for the sequel characters.
okay.
But the sequels, they're not my favorite. But any
That was
Have you
one of-
known? Ross Tico acaba de salir a defender a Kathleen Kennedy su salida. Eh? She just came out to defend Kathleen Kennedy in her outing. But, if you're talking about the sequels, yeah.
So okay, so before going with General Kenobi, so I'm getting that maybe this generation are more emotional. They like more the emotional things than what we actually did as as an older generation. I guess us as an older generation, we used to like more. I guess I don't know. We didn't care much about emotions. It was more about like the big explosions and the action. And I see maybe this generation is more leaning or more it leans more towards something more deeper. I don't know. Perhaps.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like uh a lot of people my age resonate with the emotional struggles for sure, and they maybe even relate to other characters. I'm not even saying specifically like Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan, but even maybe Darth Maul's backstory, Count Dooku. Count Dooku's backstory is pretty sad too, especially with Qui-Gon Jinn. That always brings me to tears when I watch Tales of the
Tales,
Jedi?
tales. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Tales of the Jedi. So
That fills my soul that the story of Count Dooku. That feels at your young age, that really, does a lot for me.
That gives us hope, for the future.
Exactly. You're exactly right, Kenobi. Yeah.
Man, we have few
Voy con
people
Kenobi
here.
ahorita. Voy con Kenobi
Yeah.
ahorita, pero tú dale, compi. Dale con los
Hey,
comentarios.
General Kenobi. It's a Pats fan for life.
Hey, Pats fan, what's up, man?
Hello there, Cuatro Sensual. Dice, Anakin, you were the chosen one, he said, to go to therapy. Mr. Melvin, so Disney Star Wars. Is that the Melvin from the channel, Melvin or whatever? Nice of Melvin. He doesn't like anything, bro.
Mira quién habla. Mira quién habla.
He said nothing will compare. He said the OG. He said 1 to 6, and George Lucas. No, yeah. That's true. Anyways, General Kenobi.
So, I wanted to touch something that Erwin said, and I think it's very important. So she just mentioned the story of Count Dooku, right? And I think that the prequels, specifically the prequels, to be honest, have benefited from all of the shows that came after, like Clone Wars, like Tales of the Jedi, because we were able to explore everything that was going on through those movies, right? A lot more. And I know that at least for me personally, it did change a lot of how I saw, those movies. It made more sense, right, of everything that happened between episode 2 and 3 with Clone Wars, right after you watch the show, and it actually makes you even sadder, right, to see everything that Anakin and Obi-Wan went through together as brothers, and then you see the movie and you're like, how did they get to this point, right? Like, how could it get so bad? But you also understand his love for Padme and that he would do anything, right, to save her, or he thought he was gonna save her, right? And so I think that also has changed the way the fandom, right, the fans in general, see the prequel trilogy, because now we see it with a lot more information, right? Now we know why Count Dooku left the order, why he actually tried talking to Obi-Wan, right, instead of just like killing him in episode 2, right? Like he captured him, he told him the truth, right? And that I think I remember seeing it the first time, and that made me angry. I was like, he's literally telling you everything, like he's giving you all of the answers right there, in front of you, clear as day. But yet Obi-Wan couldn't accept it, right, because of who it was coming from, right, the information. And obviously a lot of things could have been avoided if everybody just believed what Dooku said, right?
But then that gives so much character to Dooku.
Exactly.
Simply because he knew
Yeah.
in his heart that he was right,
Yeah.
for what he was doing. So he had no
Yeah.
problem telling Obi-Wan exactly what was going on.
Exactly.
So
right.
that was a masterfully
yeah, but now we see how him and a little bit at least how him and Qui-Gon were, right, when they were younger. And so now I feel that Dooku was like, well, I lost Qui-Gon, right? He would have helped me. He would have been on my side. So now the closest thing I have to an apprentice is Obi-Wan, right?
Hmm.
Because he was Qui-Gon's apprentice, etc.
Yeah.
So that's like, I feel it's almost like he's projecting, you know, onto Obi-Wan his hope that somebody will listen to him, right? Now that Qui-Gon is gone, he knows nobody else is gonna believe him. So that's like his last effort, right? To try and help. Because like you said, right, he was, I don't think that he was really evil per se. It's just that he
He was an
didn't have,
idealist.
exactly,
Idealist.
he
Yeah.
didn't have any other option, right, in his mind
Hmm.
of how to do the right thing, right? The right thing in his mind, right? He's like, I have to go against everything and everybody that I believed in, right? But again, you start infusing the movies with this information that we now know again from the shows, right? For like Clone Wars, some of the comic books, some of the novels, some of the short stories like Tales of the Jedi, etc. So I think that also helps um, enhance the prequel trilogy. And I don't know that we've gotten that for. I don't think we've gotten that for the sequel trilogy for sure. Maybe in the future, right? Maybe in the future there will be a show or another movie or something that's gonna help us, love it a little bit more. Um, I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying it could happen. But I think we have gotten that again through Clone Wars, even through Rebels. Honestly, even though Rebels is more
Yeah.
on the OG, right, on the original trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
I fear that it connected a little bit better with the prequels, because you got to see, of course, the old clones. You got to see a former Padawan, all of that stuff, like how they're transitioning into the Empire era. But yeah, so sorry, long-winded answer, but
No, no, no.
I
That's
I
fantastic.
think,
Yeah, we love to hear your input. Yeah.
like I said, I really think that has benefited the prequel trilogy, all of those extra stories that we've have gotten to see through the years.
I want to hear, and I really appreciate what Edwin has, Her Galactic Empire has said. Obviously, you, General Kenobi Bunker. Pero, compi, vamos contigo. You, you went to this re-release of episode 3, and your
Mm-hmm.
experience during going to that movie theater, which to me, Star Wars is going to the movie theater. One of the main things
Correct.
that, I mean, you guys were talking about the legacy, perhaps. Well, no, you didn't use that word, but you were talking about the change and this and that. To me, during what Kathy did and whatever during her stance on Lucasfilm, is that the trilogy, which is reminiscence of what Star Wars has been since its inception, it was just a flawed trilogy. That's my point, right? Again, um, there's this re-release of episode 3, and then all of a sudden, compy, you're going to the theater, you're going very excited with your family, you plan to go to the theater to experience that again, and then to take your youngsters, your whole family, to the theater to experience that as you experienced it when you went to perhaps you don't remember the first time that you went to saw that movie.
Yeah, I remember some. I remember some.
But you want to relieve that, and you took your entire family, and you were welcomed by a very different type of audience during that movie, and then all of a sudden something clicked on you. Tell us about it a little
No,
bit.
correct. Now, and that was what we were talking about earlier. To the before you get you got here to the live stream. Yeah. So we went to see the release of Revenge of the Sith, and I was very excited. I was because everybody was excited to go and watch it, and so
No seas
I
mentiroso, güey. You were the only one that wanted to go see it, and you took everybody with you.
no, no, actually, all my at least my kids were actually excited. They're fans of the franchise, so all of them were excited to go to the movie theater, and we actually saw episode 1 with my younger kids. Before I can remember, like, but anyway, so So yeah, we went to see it, and we went to it was my wife and my kids, and the audience. When I'm looking around, I'm going with my popcorn, and I'm looking around. We're gonna see it. You see the whole theater, and it was pretty packed. And I'll see young people. I see, like I said, 18s, 20s, 20s, 30s, probably 35, the oldest, from that generation, and then me. And I'm like, God damn, I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting there was like maybe another older guy with his family, but I think I was the oldest. Honestly, I don't think I was the oldest. And I'm not like Asian either, but So that was my it clicked at the time. I was like, oh shit, this is the this is the generation. This is the people that actually like these movies, and the people that actually like Kenobi said, this is the guys that are actually spending the money. And we saw it on we've been seeing on Hasbro. Like how this is the last Hasbro post. Everything was Attack of the Clones. So they're targeting now the new generation. I think they're letting go,
Attack
like
of the Clones and original trilogy copy.
yeah, and they're targeting now this generation because they know they have the money. They can spend money now, and I think they're gonna let the old people kind of like, no, that I guess in Galaxy says they're gonna put like a little spot where you can see old Luke and Leia. So the old people can hang out over there, and the rest is gonna be it's gonna be prequels. But no. So yeah, it was a good surprise to see a younger generation, because I thought it was dying for real. I thought it was like the old people are the ones that are carrying this, and they're getting older. You don't know if you're gonna see your next Hasbro Pulse or your next pre-order. You don't even know you're gonna see the next pre-order.
Especially when it takes so long, man. It take over a year sometimes.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you mentioned this company. I want to ask Kenobi Bunker, what do you think about this change that they're doing with the theme parks, to where all of a sudden, since their inception, we had purely sequels, no? And little by little, they were actually adding Boba Fett, Mandalorian, etc. Just the characters walking around, saying hi to people, etc. Right? But now, all of a sudden, they're gonna split the park to where we're gonna have original trilogy. We're gonna have some of the new projects that actually are part of what Disney is producing. What did you think about that? It's something that perhaps was long overdue, but then again, in my opinion, is something that could not happen any sooner because of the investment that they put on the first iteration of the parks.
Yep. No, I agree completely. I think like many of us, I would have loved for this to be from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would have loved for the theme park to be, I don't know, let's say Bespin and Hoth and Tatooine, right? Instead of Batu, right? But like you said, their vision was, we have to push the sequels hard as we can, because that's our Star Wars, right? Like that's Disney's Star Wars, at least back then. And so they bet everything on it. Of course, they had to um invest, like you said, right? And I'm sure it wasn't cheap. I'm sure there's a lot of money involved.
Mm-hmm.
um so after that, once they started going back a little bit into kind of the original trilogy timeline, right? Like they did with Mandalorian. It's not exactly there, but it's very close. um what they have been doing with yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying, man. You vote with your dollars. Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly. And so once again, right, the like Ryan is saying, that the bulk of the people that are spending money at Disney parks, it's not the little kids, right? Because they don't have money.
Exactly.
It's us. It's the parents.
Mhm.
It's the uncles. It's even the
The
grandparents,
grandpas.
right?
The grandpa.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
And who does grandpa know I can
Yeah.
guarantee you he knows Darth Vader,
Yeah.
right? I
Correct.
mean, everybody knows Darth Vader, right? For the past 50 years. And so I think it finally clicked. Why? Because we know we've seen the news, right? We've seen the coverage that Disney parks is not doing that great,
Mm-hmm.
that they've had in not as many people. Also, just look at their prices, man. It was that like a
Nah,
month ago or so
it's
that
it's crazy.
that article came out saying that it was the same money or cheaper to get a flight to Tokyo and Disney passes in Tokyo. It was cheaper than going to the one in Orlando, I think they said, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
They made the comparison, and I want to say it was maybe the same amount of money, but still, like, come on, who wouldn't want to go to Japan, right? Like,
Yeah.
for the same
Exactly.
amount of money. Honestly, I would rather go to Japan than to Orlando. Nothing against Orlando. I'm just saying it's Japan. It's awesome. Anyway, so stuff like that. So people are not as, I don't know if excited, but they're not spending as much for sure, right? And there's many other factors contributing to that. We won't get into any of the economics or the politics here, but you know focusing on Disney, right? If I'm going to be spending as much money as a Disney vacation, I definitely want to see characters that I care about, right? That I grew up with, that are more important to me. And so I think they finally sort of realized that. Honestly, I think how they released the Mandalorian, right? The character.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that? A year ago or 2 years ago by now?
Almost 2 years ago now, I
Almost,
think.
right?
Yeah.
And then they
Bubba.
did that little period of time where Luke was showing up, remember?
Yeah.
And so I think all of those, they were just tests, like they were like, okay, do people really want, these characters? Do they really spend the money, right? If we put Luke there. And I'm pretty sure they realized that yeah, people want to see those
Definitely.
characters, right? So um, they finally took the plunge, right? They finally decided to more or less give us what we want, or closer to what we want, right? For a long time. Um, so yeah, I think it's overdue. But like Alex was saying, at the same time, I understand why they couldn't do it any sooner. Too much money, too much time, too much of their
They put all their
brand.
chips into that. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. That they bet everything
Hmm.
on it, right?
Hmm.
On the sequel trilogy being an insane success, on it becoming the Star Wars for a lot of people. Uh, let's be honest, that didn't happen, or not yet. Who knows in another like 20 years, right? But at least today, that's not the case. So I'm pretty happy that they decided to do this change. Again, I think if they had done this from the beginning, I think that Galaxy's Edge would have been an even bigger success than it already
I think
has been,
so.
right?
I think so.
But hey, at least we're getting it. I'm excited. I've never been, so now I really want to go. Um, but yeah, again, they they're finally admitting who is actually spending the money, right? At Disney.
Exactly. There's something that I mentioned these, like, many times. I was like, yeah, they were pushing it on the kids,
Mhm.
the new generation. Yes, I know that's the target, or that was the target. They weren't targeting the old people. They want to kind of like moved on from the other movies to the new, this new trilogy and all that. I understand. It's perfectly understandable. That's their baby, their project. So they're gonna do that, and they did a great job. I mean, going over there and seeing that Millennium Falcon and the Rise of the Resistance. It's a great ride. Even if you don't like the movies or whatever, but the ride is incredible. I mean, it's
Right.
amazing. So I understand all that, but I think that it worn out. It was worn out. I think even because I've been there, a few times, and through the I guess to the time that I've been going, I've seen how at the beginning it was just the first order all over, boom, t-shirts, hats, whatever, everything. The next time it was a lot less, and this last time it was like very there was still stuff, but not as much as it used to. So even that is changing. I don't think they're making a lot of as much merch as they used to, and now
Mhm.
they're doing other things. And but there is things, and this is another subject. This is like we can do another show about this, like how I think at least how they're wasting a lot of money and how they're not actually taking advantage of
Showcasing.
of their IP.
Mhm.
How you cannot find anything of Andor or any other Clone Wars, bro. You can sell Clone Wars stuff. You don't see anything like
Yes.
that. You don't have like you Disney. You own the IP. You can have
Yeah.
the fucking biggest store of Star Wars in your property where people can go and
Yeah.
buy stuff from other older, movies and series and stuff like Rebel stuff. People that stuff that actually people like,
Yeah.
and then you don't find anything. You find it in other places because they, they're give the fucking the license to anybody that pays it. So
Yeah.
you find cool shit in other places, but there, and you're wasting your IP. I think that's my opinion. Maybe I don't know anything about business, but I sure will do it. I don't know. What do you think?
No, let me ask Her Galactic Empire. We have Batu, and you've been there many times. I know that you enjoyed being at Galaxy's Edge with your sisters, with your dad, with your mom. But now there's this change that is happening, right? And then we're gonna see a lot of original trilogy and different series that or different products that were just shown to us not too long ago. What is your take at your age as a fan that came into Star Wars not too long ago, but that has that fire inside AFI to simply say, you know what, I really like Star Wars, and now what are your thoughts about the changings that are happening at Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah, so I'm because actually maybe like a week ago I was watching, the update on Galaxy's Edge on YouTube and seeing other creators talk about the change. And I feel like it's well over like dude, like I'm happy we're finally getting that in the parks because, you know, like you guys said, the people who are spending the money are, the boomers too. And um
Ouch.
¿Me puedo
Very ouch.
cancelar? ¿Qué?
And she's gone. All right, moving on.
No, but she's referring to the real boomers. No, you.
No, go ahead.
yeah. But it is exciting to finally see Luke and Leia and Han come into the parks and being able to see the characters that you know and love. And um I feel like Disney could have done so much more with um the with Galaxy's Edge in general. And I think their original plan was to have like Tatooine and um I watched the documentary on YouTube, but Batu wasn't the original plan, and it, they, it's pretty sad, but I'm happy they're finally changing. But it is pretty sad that you can't even go to a store in Galaxy's Edge or like a little merchandise area and you don't see anything related to, Leia or Luke or Han Solo or Rebels or Clone Wars. You get Rey, Finn, and Poe. So I'm excited for the change. I'm excited to see those characters, and it also opens the door for potential prequels characters that my generation loves, and to see maybe Queen Amidala or Anakin
Yes,
or
yes.
Obi-Wan,
Django
Oh, yeah.
Fett. Django Fett.
Jango Fett,
Little
I like
Boba.
Django.
¿Quieres ver a Little
Little
Boba
Boba.
por ahí?
Yeah.
Oh, Boob. Django be fun. And but oh yeah, by the way, yeah, these past we went in this past November,
¿Estás
and
en el baño, compi, o qué?
no, why?
Ah, okay.
No, my it was running slow. So, anyways, we went to Orlando this past November, and I did see the Mandalorian there, and it had a lot of people. So yeah, I think the Mandalorian is already like a permanent character already
Yeah.
in the area. So hopefully they will bring these other ones, and like Kenobi says that it was probably a test and see how people reacted, and I think it was a positive reaction because they're there. I know it was also Boba Fett was there, Fennec. I think, but those are in. I think everything starts in Disneyland, and then it
Yeah.
makes its way to Disney World. So yeah, it was fun. It was actually pretty fun to see the Mandalorian there. I was like, okay, things are changing, and so yeah, hopefully everything, will change in a good way, like she says. And I said it before, yeah, like the people that spend the money are the parents and the grandparents now and the uncles and those are old generation. They want to see their favorite characters there. So, and I'm sure Poe is not one of them. So, nothing against Poe. I'm just saying maybe he's not one of them. Maybe we want to see, somebody else in there. So, but yeah, it's fun. If you haven't been there, I think it's a good experience for sure. So it's fun. It's lovely to see the freaking the Falcon just one on one, and it's crazy. It's amazing. I think so.
I mean, so you're telling me that Disney is finally understanding that? Well, I mean, they've been around forever, right? And then they are so successful. But at this point, in this economy and the economy that has been hitting us for a long time, hopefully they're understanding that the main owners of discretionary income are people our age and not perhaps younger generations, no, and and then they are trying to cater to us, at the end of the day, and to me, that's one of the main reasons why they're making these changes, because at the end of the day, you and I are gonna take our families. Kenobi will be there soon, taking his family. I know so many other people that take their families, but they are all our age, and then they try to cater to us, simply because of that discretionary income that we perhaps do have, or that we like to save in order to go and enjoy that experience. And then, as Edwin said, I would like to go again, and I would like to go again, even though I've been there, a couple times. If they're gonna show me different stuff, and especially things that have to do with the original trilogy or the prequels, I'll be the first one to sign up. Then again, because I love Star Wars, I don't know if it's something that relates to the theme of this live that will capture new generations, which I hope that it would.
That's cool.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Even like Star Tours, the ride, which is one of the oldest rides, there. They changed the stories or whatever. Every ride is different. What was the combination you said, Compy? What, 201 or 2001? When you ride Star Tours.
Oh, start with over 2,000 combinations of the things that they show on on screen. Yeah, over 2,000 combinations. So one of the cast members assured me that you can write it and write it and write it again, and you're not gonna have the same thing because there are over 2,000 combinations of the different scenes that we have. And maybe they are just so subtle that people will not notice. They will say, "Oh, it was the same thing," but no, it is not, because you saw this, you saw that. There was just this different element, but they have over 2,000 combinations of that thing. So I went there 12 times, and I never saw the percent.
We actually rode like I don't know, 5-6 times. Well, probably more. Through the week that we were there, but. Man, it was some. I got some cool ones, man. It was one with Ahsoka, and we were flying by the portals and all that shit. It was fun. It was fun.
Nice.
It
That's
was one of
awesome.
the coolest ones. But they had multiple Kashyyyk and few of the New Order, but you have to have the New Order.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah. So, anyways, let me see. Let's see right here. We got Josue. He said,
What's going on,
hello,
brother?
General, and everybody. Hello, Josue. How are you? Action Joe Fix just got home, and hello, everyone. All right. That's the General Kenobi's community. So, hello, everybody from General Kenobi's channel. Star Wars, let me see. Mr. Alfredo Ferrat says Star Wars is not the fantastic universe. What? Star Wars is not the fantastic universe, is the
I
universe
can't
plus
think.
characters.
Plus characters.
All right.
Yes, it is a night.
Anyways,
Yes, it is a night. It is a
I
night.
okay. Anything I'm forgetting right here? Because we are thinking approaching the time. So
No, we're about to wrap up. I think
hello.
it has been a great conversation. In regards of this copy that you and I and Pijo and our community have been talking about, especially since the release of episode 3 on theaters, and then I have seen so many people on social media, YouTube creators, all over the place that are very young. You simply getting into Star Wars, and then what I really like about that is that it's not so much that they get into it because of just a simple movie. It's just that they start to read, they start to collect, they start to do so many different things that are around Star Wars, that all of a sudden, it's just different connections that they have with the saga. And to me, that's invaluable. And it's something that I have not seen in decades, for a new generation to simply say, I love the story. I'm going to read this comic book. I want to read the novel. There's this character and I love the figure. I'm going to collect the Lego. I'm going to collect the 3.75. I'm going to collect the Black Series. And perhaps I'm going to get into a Hot Toy 1/6 scale.
Hot toys,
Simply because
perhaps.
simply because I love the character. So that is something that I have been able to see lately, as of late, within the last year or so. And then to me, that just injects a lot of hope into the saga that we love. So I'm glad that you picked this theme copy, and of course the people that you had on aquí a
Invited.
cuadro, yeah, invited as guests, obviously, General Kenobi Bunker and Her Galactic Empire, infinite thank yous, and then of course or Hawks and everything to Nilda from Appetites for Collectibles.
That's correct. Yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. I think it was a fun and interesting subject to talk about. Why is the prequels the favorite right now of the new generation? I think we got a little bit of answer, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see how things go, and with the new movies, and see if the same generation keeps supporting the saga with the new movies. We'll see.
The
Yeah.
future is
So
bright, Compy. The future is bright.
it is bright. It's better than it was for sure. It goes nerd affiliated. General
Hey, what's
Kenobi.
up,
Yeah,
bud?
I don't know if General Kenobi wants to part with a few words before we start closing this.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
This was pretty fun. First of all, thank you for inviting me. As always, I always have a fun time, joining you guys here on the screen. Um, Very good subject. I think there's still a lot to be said. Because I think that we just started like unpacking, some of the stuff here. It's gonna be interesting, like you said, to see if the upcoming movies get as much, love, right, from this new generation. Hopefully, like I said, because let's be honest, we need Star Wars movies to make money, right?
Yeah.
So they keep making Star Wars movies. I'm not gonna say all of the movies are going to be great, but I want them to be more movies, right? And the only way they're going to do that, honestly, is if they make money. So I really hope that Mandalorian and Grogu does really good business, right, at the box office. But yes, very interesting. Like I said, very cool subject. Appreciate you guys having me. Um, like Alex was saying, guys, if you have a little bit of time tonight, see if you can reach out to Nilda, Appetite for Collectibles on Instagram or on YouTube. Uh, it's been a tough day. Okay, it's been a tough day for her. So sending her much love. You know, it's always obviously tough losing somebody close to you, but we have a great community here. So if you have, again, if you have a couple minutes, just maybe leave her a little message on Instagram and things like that. Just let her know that we're around. Okay. And yeah, sending her much love and a big old hug. So, but yeah, that is gonna do it for me. Again, I appreciate you having me here on the live stream. Always fun, and I hope to see you guys soon. At some of the shows down here.
You always will, as long as we're alive. But no, yeah, absolutely. Sending your love, and then Her Galactic Empire. It was fantastic listening to your point of view. The things that you have to share with us, especially on this subject. Which parting ways for this live would you like to share with us?
Well, I let me turn my camera on. Hello. Um, I'm also excited to see the new movies and see how they do. I'm excited for the Mando and Grogu movie. And then the later on this year, or yeah, this year, the Ahsoka series, even though it's been pushed a little further out, but I'm excited to see how the story is being told in season two. And I'm a little nervous for the Ryan Gosling movie, but it's okay. Uh, we'll see how that does eventually. And next year is also a celebration, so hopefully we'll see upcoming series and more projects in the works, especially with Kathleen stepping down and seeing if Dave Filoni brings us some interesting and more projects. I guess we'll see. I don't
Right.
know, but
Hopefully
No,
they
it's a
they
pleasure,
they, they,
pleasure
they
to have you
announce.
and to listen to all of your point of view. So that's fantastic. Especially, you know, um, mi compi and I belong to a completely different generation. So to get a really fresh point of view from you and Kenobi is it's it's really nice. Bueno, Kenobi está con nosotros. O sea, ya.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Compi,
He
vámonos
has
despidiendo.
he has pressed the line. Yeah, no, and thanks to everybody. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to everybody that showed up in the chat and all the opinions out there. It was fun to be here tonight. And yeah, we'll see you soon. So follow us. Follow Her Galactic Empire, TikTok and Instagram. You find her. I find her there. You find General Kenobi's Bunker, YouTube, Instagram. And what else? Facebook. I don't know what else you got. I
pretty
know.
much everything.
I know TikTok. You don't, right?
Kenobi got everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on TikTok. I'm just saying it's getting a little bit weird. So, I don't know. We'll see. But we're still there. So if you Googled it, I should pop up.
And we're every Sunday in our regular live streams in Spanish. That's why my my English is not that well when I talk in live streams. But anyways, we have our Spanish live streams every Sunday at 9 o'clock Central Time. So if you know Spanish and you like Star Wars, come and visit us. And we're here every Sunday 9 p.m. Central Time. So. Well, that's it. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you soon, Mr. Kenobi, Her Galactic Empire, Alex. Bye.
It was a pleasure to have all the Kenobi's community here with us on the chat. So we say hi to all of them and thank you for being a participant and then for showing that love, to the live, and then for giving us all those many comments that they actually give us on the chat. So thank you.
Appreciate
so
you, Bunker Bunch. Thank you.
Eso es todo. We'll see you next time on Mandalore Express Kenobi Bunker. Vámonos.